Life after College of Science is not something new to us all. At one moment during our review sessions, or maybe just talking with our friends, the thought has popped into our heads already. Today, with Kate and our guest speakers, we will just talk about that. What in store for us after the College of Science? We invited our guest, Sir Gerald Soliven, who holds MS in Biological Sciences from the University of Santo Tomas, Manila. He is now one of the faculty members of the Department of Biological Sciences in our college. We also invited Mr. Vashwin A. Amarnani, the president of the College of Science Student Council in the academic year 2018-2019. He is currently taking up Doctor of Medicine in the University of the East Ramon Magsaysay Medical Memorial Center. We hope that after listening to this episode, you get a glimpse of what it's like after graduating in QPAB. Well, hopefully in QPAB very soon. Magandang araw, College of Science. Welcome back to another episode of Patnubay at Gabay. I am Dean Alano, the current president of the College of Science Student Council. Kasama ninyo makikipagkwentuhan ngayong araw. I hope you're all doing great this week after an intense prelims period. Grabe, sobrang intense talaga. Maybe today we could have some sort of time after a stressful month in the online class setting. Right, Kate?
You're absolutely right, Dean. Grabe yung prelims. As in, sunod-sunod lahat ng requirements, lahat na aaralin. Ang hirap talaga. Pero again, welcome again everyone to this podcast. I'm Kate Nesas, the current External Vice President of the College of Science Student Council.
I couldn't agree more, Kate. Alam mo, kanina lang we are having our position-specific trainings and of course preparation for all the events that the council has in store for that for everyone. In addition to that, yung iba pa nating of course responsibilities, ACADS, sa family, ano. And of course, dun magpupunta tayo sa thesis pa. Because we're talking about senior year is really something else. Ano? Kaya nga this episode is really timely for me right now as I'm also starting to piece together my plans after I graduate, hopefully in a few months.
Ay nako, Dean, na-mention mo pa yung thesis, isa pa yan. Tapos practicum pa sa mga bio students and psych students.
Actually,
Grabe,
everyone.
patong-patong lahat. Actually,
Oo.
everyone nga pala. So, super, patong-patong na lahat. Pero, I don't think we have to worry naman that much since today, we have invited very special guests with us. Not just for, seniors who are looking for their right path, but also to every Tomasian scientist na nag-iisip kung saan ba sila tutungo sa future.
You're right, Kate. I'm very excited for all of us to hear words of wisdom today. So I guess our speakers are really preparing for their words of wisdom. So for the past episode, we invited some of our fellow students from the College of Science. For today, we will be welcoming back our once ates and kuyas na naging Tomasian scientist students din. Here with us today are Sir Je and Kuya Vash. So Kuya Vash, Sir Je, how's life? Kamusta na? Di ba po, Sir?
Life is good. Alam niyo naman, most of you know, I just recovered from COVID. So, I'm very
Great to hear that,
thankful.
sir.
Yes. It's nice to be here. It's nice to converse with you guys here. So, yeah.
I'm doing okay also. I actually just finished cooking because I just moved back to staying by myself recently. And then I have, similar to you guys, I also have my exams. So, ayun, I'm studying then right after this. But it's nice to take some time off every once in a while. So, it's nice.
Yeah, so kapag napakinggan to ng mga listeners or viewers natin, Kuya Vash had just finished cooking. Sana mayroon ding iba dyan na baka luluto or mag-iisip, kakain ba ako? Or baka naman kumakain kayo habang nakikinig o nanonood ng podcast natin, of course.
Yes, and also na-mention ni Kuya Vash na mag-a-rin siya mamayang after ng podcast na to. Pero he's taking the time to take a rest right now and converse with us. And with you, viewers and listeners, I hope you guys are doing the same. Take a break, listen to us for a while. And mamaya na yung ACADS na yan. May time pa tayo for studying. So now, let's go ahead and jump into the topic, the house life after college for you guys. So, Sergey and Kuya Vash, can you tell us some insights or a little background on what you're doing right now? Ano po yung mga current career path niyo or kung ano yung mga pinagkakaabalahan niyo po at the present?
Basically, I'm in med school now, and Well, I think we're going through somewhat similar experiences with you guys. Parang we learn nga in some of our classes, like when we study like psychiatry and stuff. Parang medicine is almost like an extension. Parang it's extended school life now. Parang extended adolescence. So I don't know. But yeah, I feel like it's a lot. It's similar naman with a lot of masters careers, but at the same time, parang with masters, like a lot of my friends that are going to that field, they also parang they work at the same time, or even in law school. While in medicine, parang I don't know a lot of people that work at the same time. So it's really very similar to whatever you guys are going through. Like whatever changes happen in the online curriculum, I feel you guys. But yeah, it's hard to adjust studying online. Parang you don't get to really meet with your friends. I didn't realize how much of a difference it made to just parang feel bad about a test together with someone else until the online class started. Yeah, studying most of the time.
On my end, since I'm a faculty from the Department of Biological Sciences, we prepare your material. Definitely, it takes time to do recordings as well. Nasasanay din kami na kausap lang namin ay mga screen at nagre-record kami ng ganito. Sanay din kaming mag-record talaga ng mga video lectures for the students to make things easier or more bearable for you guys. So, on the other end, I'm also working on my PhD. Right now, I need to do some more experiments to finish. However, the pandemic is making it harder kasi syempre with all the restrictions, you can't go to the laboratory, or if you can go to the laboratory, you have limited time. Hopefully, things get better. They'll allow us to go back just to do certain work. Ayun. Actually, it's really fun. Juggling din. It's hard, pero again, you really need to find enjoyment in what you're doing. Wala namang hindi mahirap eh. Lahat yan mahirap. Kahit saan ka pumunta. It's going to be hard, pero just make it enjoyable. You just enjoy what you're doing. Yun.
I agree with what Sir Jet said. Parang a lot of the time they say na, like, some people will say that like music or like business is easy. Pero like me, if I went to music school, I'm gonna fail like 1 month in probably. I don't know. Parang it's really about what interests you that will bring you far.
Yes, I guess me and Dean could also agree to that kasi we also have our own struggles, especially dun sa nasabi ni Kuya Bash na the switch to the online setting for schools right now, it's really hard. And I guess also for Sergey as a prof kasi ayun nga, yung nakikita lang niyo po is mga pictures lang po namin every day in day in out. So parang that's kind of taxing na rin, and parang wala yung usual na connection of students that you can get during the face-to-face study.
Actually, I cannot agree, Kate, more kasi yun doon lalo din sa parang beyond the classroom ng mga interactions. So, sa mga hallway, the simple good mornings, the simple, "Uy, kamusta ka na?" Parang ilang tayo nagkita pero nakita naman kayo kahapon. So, yung mga ganun na experiences, that's why siguro for everyone's listening or watching us right now, it's also time to appreciate our professors. For Sergey, it's World Teachers Day last October 5. So, a happy World Teachers Day, sir. So, it's been very tough. I really believe for all of us. Sabi nga ni Kuya Bash, wala lahat magiging mahirap talaga. And Sergey also said that, no? You just really need to enjoy. So, maiba naman tayo ng kaunti. Yung mga present, di ba? We just talked about what we're doing at present right now, or basically kung saan umiikot yung activities natin. But since we welcome you back in the College of Science, so it seems like it's an alumni homecoming, pero sa podcast muna. Baka pwede mag-reminisce naman tayo ng konti lang naman. For our dearest listeners today, I'm sure makaka-relate po sila, and for those viewing us as well. So, pwede niyo po bang i-share sa amin or sa ating lahat kung what type of students you were back then in college? Are you solid BS org? Is something heavy on extracurriculars, or mga studies first tayo, or something in between siguro? Baka if there's such, So, would you mind sharing muna, Kuya Vash?
Oh, okay. ayun, I think I was very BS org. Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it, but I think even until med school, it's followed me. I wouldn't call it BS org anymore, but parang the whole first year of med school, I told myself, you're gonna stop. You're gonna study na lang. Tapos one person messaged me, oh, you want to help out, do this one task. Okay, one task lang. Parang kaya naman pala to balance. And then one task turned into two tasks. Then two tasks turned into a position. And then a position turned into two positions. And then committees. And then I'm back right where I was in college. Pero yeah, yun, BS org talaga. Especially CSSC, like from my second year to fourth year, I was CSSC all throughout. And then in terms of academics, I studied naman. And I mean, yeah, like I studied and I tried to do well naman. But I always tried to really enjoy what I was learning, and I really tried to be in the moment, which is something I feel gets harder when it's online. Parang I even noticed just today that when classes were face to face, I take notes and I really listen in class. But now I have a sofa back there, and this is my study setup. Sometimes I'm just lying down there. Next thing I know, I'm awake and I'm the only one left in the Zoom call. And then, ayun. So yeah, it becomes harder to really concentrate. But in college, yun, my study style was really to listen in class and then try to connect it na lang to the learnings that I'd seen on the books and like online videos and stuff.
On my end, how I wish, kahit pwede ko rin gawin yung ginagawa ni Bash na nasa sofa. Kaso hindi pwedeng ako yung mawawala eh. Hindi na pwede yun eh. So anyway, I was once, like you, like everyone here, I was a student leader back then. Pero the difference is I was straight biosok. Hindi ako umalis sa biosok from first year. I was we call it back then as a core member, yung mga staffers. So I started from that, and then eventually I became executive board. And on my last year, I became EVP of Biosok. So I could say na BS org din ako. I really enjoyed my time being a student leader. Sabi nga namin, it's wanted stress. Kumbaga ginusto namin, and you find enjoyment in doing your org work. Aside from it's a welcome break from your academics, you get to learn eh. You don't learn everything inside the classroom. To be honest, I have learned a lot, and I'm very thankful to Biosok talaga. A big part of me or how I am today, how I am in my work, malaking factor yung pag-org ko eh. Nakatulong talaga siya. To be honest, a lot of skills I've learned because of Biosok. How I interact with people, how I converse with people. It's because of the org. Malaking bagay talaga siya. And you find companions. So you're on the same boat eh. So alam mo, nakaka-relate kay isa't isa. So back then it was embryology, yung developmental bio nyo. Yun. So every after practicals, lahat ng officers lugmok kasi syempre it's really hard, it's very difficult. Tapos yun, mag-enjoy na lang kami kasi may event kami. Or yung stress na dala ng event, matatakpan niya yung stress ng practicals. Then yun, tsaka nagtutulungan din kami. To be honest, you find people that will help you then inside the organization. Yeah.
So we have our guests, our BS org. Pompo, solid BS org. Ano? One year the other, may straight path sila. For Sergey, straight biosok. For Kuya Bash, as you all know it was really CSSC all through this years until he graduated in 2019. Ano? So I couldn't agree more. Yung mga lalo na yung mga committees na left and right na you'll have the chance to actually participate. Iba yung matututunan mo talaga, and you'll just realize after each work na matatapos mo, wait, kung sa classroom, mukhang hindi na talaga ito matututunan. Or kung sa Zoom na we have right now, mukhang malabo talagang may matutunan tayong ganito. Which is something that we are very grateful. Ano? So, but to as a follow-up, Sir Je and Kuya Bash, how were you able to balance naman? Diba? Of course, at the end of the day, meron tayo laging notion na you are a student first before a leader. Kaya, paano nyo po na-balance yung, yun nga, heavy na work ng pagiging member of the executive board, I suppose, and yun ding general na work as a org and of course studies, ACAD. Sir?
To be honest, there are times na minsan hindi siya nababalance eh. Just being real. Meron talagang times na you will learn to sacrifice things. Pero you should know what to sacrifice. And then when you sacrifice, hindi kasi talaga, sabi nga nila, diba? You can't serve two masters at the same time. Diba? Totoo yun. Hindi talaga kaya eh. You choose your battles. Depende talaga eh. If you think you need to distance yourself from the organization, do so. If you think na kailangan mas mag-effort ka sa org, then go ahead. Pero isa yun sa natutunan ko, you balance things talaga when you be a student leader. Hindi pwedeng isa lang eh. Hindi pwedeng isa lang talaga kasi both are important, 'di ba? Both are important. Both you committed in doing it, your academics definitely, then yung organization. So yun, isipin mo lang talaga kung ano yung kailangan mo i-prioritize. So nagva-vary siya eh. It depends on the situation.
I agree with Sir. Even earlier you mentioned something, Sir, about wanted stress. There's a as far as I remember, I hope none of my psych profs are hearing this talk, so wrong pala. Pero parang there's a term called eustress, which is it's like a productive, like a good kind of stress, which I think for me that's what orgs, especially in college, was able to give me. And then parang we go to the term na student leader, na parang student first before leader. Like I agree naman to a certain extent because we did a lot. We enrolled because we came to study, but at the same time, parang you kind of make a commitment when you join an org, especially when you become an officer. To a sense that it's not really something that comes first. You really have to put them together and see where you can go. But like what Sir said, parang it's a balance talaga. It's not one comes before the other. But I think at the same time, like Sir said, parang you can't. It doesn't happen. It does not get balanced because we forget that it's not just those two. Like on the side, you have your family, you have your friends, you have so much other. Parang you're so much more than just those two things na student leader. So from there, that's where you learn so many other things like communication. For me, whenever I work with any team, I tell them communication talaga is number one. Especially now that it's online. You don't even need a reason, for me at least. You don't need a reason to not be able to do something when it comes to orgs. But you just need to be able to communicate with the people you're working with. Just because it's something voluntary, you just need to be able to communicate with the people you're working with. That I might not have a hard time with this thing ahead of time. Para it can be managed na by the rest of the team because you're there to work with each other. You're not by yourself when you join these things. So parang you really, for me, my communication skills were really honed, and also in another sense, your trust. Kasi when you're an officer, especially I guess when you're president, parang a lot of things fall on you. Like regardless what happens, who did it, like it all doesn't matter. It falls on you at the end of the day in terms of responsibility, and you cannot let that responsibility parang hold you back. Because you have to show people that you have your trust in them. Because otherwise, it will be hard for them to trust in themselves to get stuff done. So, yun, parang I learned a lot of things in terms of working with people and so much more, honestly, like, same with Sir Din. So, a big part of who I am was because of the orgs that I joined. And ever since, I'm not sure if it's your batch or the batch before you. But I think every batch during their festival, I'd always say, join an org. Like it doesn't have to be CSSE. It doesn't have to be your society's orgs. Yeah. Or yeah, your academic societies. Just join something because you cannot just be studying 24/7. You should do something else. Yeah. That's all.
Yes, yes. Agree. And I'll go back to yung sa sinabi ni Sir way earlier na about how it's really hard to balance yung yung org and also yung ACADS kasi hindi lang as what Kuya Vashwin said, hindi lang yun yung yun yung binubuhat mo sa buhay. There's family, there's friends, there's yourself also. Your mental health matters a lot also, especially in this online setting. So it's really hard and it's kind of reassuring na abang kinakausap po namin kayo, like you guys also had your struggles, you guys also had your hardships in the council or in Biosoc or in any org. And I guess for all the listeners na BS org rin, katulad namin ni Dean siguro sa College of Science, it's reassuring to know na kaya siya in an extent na you just have to make sure that you balance it well, or if hindi man mabalance na, make sure you know how to pace yourself properly. Yung pagiging BS org and also pagiging student. Yeah.
And for those na study first, I mean baka next year or few clicks from now, you could also consider an organization that would best suits what you want. Sabi nga ni Kate, it doesn't ni Kuya Vash, it doesn't necessarily need to be the CSSC or for sige the Biosoc or your ACADSOC, any org that in the university na you feel like you belong at nandun yung interest mo, di ba? Why not just try, di ba? All of us, I believe, started from being a member, being someone who just work things up in the organization, and you would see how great it is to be part of one, di ba? So, Kate?
Also, to add on lang din, you will learn a lot of things rin sa pagiging BS org or kahit anong org na masasalihan nyo. Kasi as they have said earlier, hindi lang ACADS lang yung mag-hone sa skills natin for the workplace. There's a communication, there's leading, there's also management. So in being an org person or a person who has dabbled into organizations, you would be able to hone or better hone your skills in that. So we also saw the different experiences ni Sir and ni Kuya Vashwin. So kahit we are all under the same college, each of us, each Tomasian scientists really have their own unique experiences, unique struggles, unique hardships. So of course, along with this, many memorable experiences comes with it, no? Like kunwari pag-iyak after ng prelims or pag stress eating kapag finals na ganon, di ba? So I guess to segue from that, what do you think is the most memorable lesson that you have learned as a Tomasian science student? It may be from your prof, your org advisor, or your orgs, or kahit anong tumatak sa inyong mga isip during your stay at the College of Science. Sir Get, siguro you could start
Okay. For me, I think failure is an important part of life. It may, when you say failure, you always think of something negative. Pero for me, during college, being a scientist, you would encounter failure oftentimes, lalo na if you're doing your experiments or kung wala ka pa sa stage na yun, sa mga exams, di ba? Usual naman yun eh. I think Vash would be, can easily relate kasi sa med, that's normal, di ba? Normal yun eh. Once you, I don't want to say get used to it, pero pag na-figure out mo na it's really part of, everyday life, you won't be affected that much, and then you can use it as maybe a springboard or an inspiration for you to do better, for you to improve, definitely. Maganda kung hindi ka mag-fail, definitely, diba? Kung hindi mo may experience yun, well and good. Pero there will always come a time in your life na you would experience failure or it would really affect you. Siguro, yun nga, makakatulong talaga siya in your development or for you to be a better person. So, isa yun sa mga lessons na natutunan ko with my college life. Lalo na yung ibang mga profs ko ay now, mga colleagues ko na. So, iniisip ko na, yun eh, it's not being personal. It's just, it's something that they did para maging better version ako ng sarili ko, something like that. So I'm very thankful for yung mga mga failures ko. Actually hanggang ngayon naman during my PhD, when I'm doing my experiments, hindi naman siya perfect usually I fail, I do it over and over again until you get the result that you should need, or your desired result. So again, I know most of the students, they get sad, they get nada-down sila, lalo na pag nakikita nila yung spicy pancit canton sa blackboard, di ba? Na nalulungkot sila. I mean, it's normal. Definitely you'll get sad, you'll get affected, pero try to look at it at a different perspective.
I agree very much. For me naman, in a somewhat related note to what Sir said, for me it was actually parang try to realize and take opportunities to grow as much as possible. Parang even, especially including failures din, parang I feel like a lot of us get scared when we fail or when we make mistakes. We forget, or we have the wrong mindset, I feel. Parang the mindset almost needs to be shifted in a sense that we need to remember that we go to school to learn. We go to school to make the mistakes now so that we don't make it late. We need to realize that we need to take every opportunity. Parang I understand kasi that it's scary sometimes. Like I remember even aside from ACADS, the first time I handled an event, or the first time I went into a quiz knowing I wasn't prepared, or an exam knowing I wasn't prepared. It's scary, but sometimes you just do it, and then you make sure that after it's done, you take time to reflect and realize what went wrong, what can be done better. Like for me, sometimes when I make mistakes now, I like to think to myself, it's okay, I know this now. Like it's not gonna be the same mistake again next time. Parang I think that's something we have to think about. Think about how this time for you right now in school, and for me then, and being someone who's still in school, parang it's our time to learn. It's our time to make mistakes, and we shouldn't be afraid of that.
I agree kasi ayun nga, I think paulit-ulit na namin sinasabi to, nakakatapos ka ng prelims, and after ng prelims kasi we know na lumalabas agad yung mga yung mga colors.
Hindi katulad
sa
dati,
blackboard.
Hintay ka pa ng ilang araw. Kasi ikakan pa ni Kuya Henep sa
sa Scantron. Naantayin niyo pa yung Scantron,
Oo, tapos kunwari sa Scantron, babasahin mo lang, tapos itatago mo na sa bag. Pero dito, kitang-kita mo yung mga colors. May green, may orange, red, and stuff. So, yeah, I guess it's a nice message to hear right after ng prelims. And siguro sa susunod na finals, na mga exams, na it's okay to fail. Sabi nga ni Kuya Vash na you are in school to learn, and you're not in school to be, that perfect student na agad-agad. You're here to make mistakes, and most importantly, to learn from that mistakes.
Sabi nga ni Kate talaga, you to learn from those mistakes. Yun ang mahalaga actually. For something that Kuya Vash said kanina, yung to take the opportunities. I could remember yung when I was in high school, there's a teacher who said na opportunity knocks only once. So pag hindi mo siya ginrab, baka hindi na ulit siya mag-knock pabalik sa'yo. So if you have the chance to grab that, if the circumstances favors you to grab that, then I guess why not? And yun nga, in the process of grabbing it perhaps, or in the process of doing that opportunity, di ba? As said naman by Sir Ge, we couldn't avoid na at some point we'll feel na tama pa ba yung ginagawa ko? Pag-fail na ata ako, di ba? But it's something na parang at the end of the day, it's something na magandang marinig from those who were able to survive the College of Science, na despite yung mga days na parang ayaw mo na, parang wag na lang, o kaya mukhang hindi tayo papasa. They were here, and to our listeners and to our viewers, they're proud graduates of the college, so they are testaments na at the end of the day, it will be better. It will get better. 4 years, di ba? 4 years of your stay in the college will really give learnings that lasts a lifetime. Ilang taon na si Kuya Bash graduate? I guess 3 years for Sir Ge. Baka ayaw niya
Huwag mo na
sabihin.
akong tanongin.
Baka ayaw
Huwag natin pag-usapan.
So, ayun. Pero hanggang ngayon, nandyan pa rin yung mga learnings na yun. I guess not just because Sir Ge, for one, is a member of the faculty, but still talagang maraming natutunan here in his stay in the college. Since you already mentioned earlier that for Sir Ge, you're currently pursuing your PhD degree and of course as a member of the faculty. For Kuya Bash naman, Doctor of Medicine, how did being a College of Science student prepared you for your present career endeavors?
Okay.
Bash.
Actually, yun, being BS Psych, it's something na I feel is not exactly someone's first thought when they think of a pre-med course. But something, at least for me, I feel it has really prepared me for is parang the importance of talking to patients and like being able to build rapport. Parang it comes a little easier, I think, when you have a little background in psych. And then in general naman with the College of Science, I think it helps you look at data better. Parang you're more equipped when it comes to reading research articles and making sure that the things you're looking at the things you're reading are not fake news. I don't know. Pero yeah, parang it gives you a better idea of how to do research and how to manage time than I think in general the College of Science taught me to manage time.
For me, I think it's since magkaiba tayo ng degree diba? You're psychology and biology. So sa akin yung workload the heavy workload I think and very high expectations of the faculty to the students. I think malaking bagay yun it helped me, it prepared me to try to always exceed expectations. I will always remember yung isang prof ko dati, sabihin ko na si Dean, prof ko siya dati. Mahilig siya magpabasa ng book sa invertebrate zoology yun. Hindi ko malilimutan yun kasi ang dami talaga, ang dami pinapabasa. Usually per phylum yung chapters, so babasahin namin yun. And then the next meeting, usually may quiz yun si Dean. May papaquiz siya. Sobrang dami mong binasa. Usually ang tanong lang niya minsan, yung maliit na box lang doon sa book, parang maliit lang na snippet, yun lang tatanungin niya. So, kailangan talaga, yun, na-develop ko yun, nahiligan ko magbasa ng habang feeling ko kung nag-med ako, nagamit ko yun. Kasi marami na yung binabasa sa med. So, yun, isa yun sa mga, yung workload talaga, nakatulong siya. I know, looking back, parang, hindi ko masasabi na nakatulong siya kung estudyante pa rin ako. Mapafrustrate ako kasi ang dami talaga. Alam mo sa biology, pag nagsabay-sabay na yung developmental bio, yung cell and molecular biology, sabay-sabay kasi yun yung time ko, yung curriculum ko. So, ang daming binabasa. So, I think that prepared me to be, a better professional. Saka yung holistic learning, yung mga, ngayon ko lang na-realize, yung practicals, it's not parang ma-stress yung student, para kabahan siya, pero again, it's something that you can, looking back, it's something na, it's training you to be, kung baga ma-focus ka kahit under pressure. Definitely kung naging medical personnel ka or naging doctor ka, parang nasa operating room ka or nasa ER ka. Syempre, time is very important. Diba? During practicals, ganun din You're only given certain number of time to face a question or to answer a question. So, looking back, those are lessons na hindi natin nakikita as students. Pero once we graduate, once we pursue different careers, looking back, mapapaisip ko din, baka yun. Baka it helped me, it prepared me for this one.
So, yes, that's very reassuring na madami pa lang kami hindi nakikita, pero as we move on with our life after graduation, dun pa lang ma-apply siguro yung mga learnings namin. Siguro what Sir said, like practicals for us super stressful yun, super nangangarap kami sa mga bells sa bot garden. So
Lalo
parang
yung back-to-back, pag back-to-back.
oo.
Magkaibang kwarto sa Botgar.
Oo, tapos may mga written pa yun. Yung nalala ko sa botany and zoology, dapat sulat-sulat yun eh. And then,
At tama ang numbering.
oo, yung number, yeah, yun. Tapos, kunwari tumapat ka dun sa gitna, dapat yung gitnang number yung sasagutan mo, hindi number 1. So, those struggles, I guess, you won't really see the purpose of it right now, mga listeners and viewers natin. But I guess, we'll apply this and better see the purpose behind everything that we're learning right now. Siguro, rin, sa mga ACAD stuff natin, like, for me right now, I'm taking ANAFI and histology. So, that's kind of hard. And, minsan, napapaisip ako, kailangan ba tong purple and pink na figure na to sa buhay ko? Pero, I guess, in the long run, when I become a med student, hopefully, I'll see the importance of it and yung kung bakit ko to pinag-aaralan. Ikaw ba din? Anong masasabi mo sa na-share ng ating
sa mga nasabi ni Sir Gay tsaka ni Kuya Bash, talagang lalo lang panatunayan na may rason ng lahat ng bagay. Alam mo yun, parang yung sabi nga ni Sir Gay, shout out of course to our Dean Ray, who might be or who will be listening to this podcast at the same time. Yung quiz na ang dami mong binasa tapos ang tatanong sa'yo yung pagkaliit-liit na nandun sa gilid, di ba? You'll really see the importance ng mga ginagawa natin. Siguro this goes for those na may feeling na ano ba yung purpose ng degree natin ngayon na tinatrabaho natin to finish. Ano ba yung purpose ng mga subjects na we are facing right now? Perhaps we have a listener or we have a viewer na nag-review ngayon habang nakikinig sa Patnubay at Gabay. So, it's something na reassuring na yung binabasa mo ngayon or yung ginagawa mo ngayon means something and will mean something in the near future. Our professional, guests today, they proved it. Na, for example, for Kuya Bash, nasa med siya, yung mga natutunan niya about in psychology, about building rapport, as he said a while ago. It's very important, and yun nga, for hindi lahat ng bagay, you really need na talagang makita yung meaning right now, but hopefully in the near future, lalo na when we are reaching that goal, after the College of Science or after our stay here, mas makita natin yung rason. And we'll be going back someday in the future na, ay, kaya pala yung nangyari yun. Ganito pala yung hinahanda sa akin or ganito pala yung mangyayari after 4 years here in Galing Science. Okay?
So yeah, ayun, it's really relieving to hear this again kasi we're having a hard time with academics, especially with the online setting. So we just have to keep in mind that everything happens for a reason. Every hardships, every struggles happens for a reason. And I guess we can say that their stories ni Sergey and Kuya Vashwin are concrete evidence or testament to that. So, however, hindi natin maiwasan that because there's a ton of choices, a plethora of choices that we can grab after graduating. Ang dami, napakadaming choices natin pwedeng piliin for our future endeavors. Nakakalito minsan kung ano yung mga path na kukunin natin. So, I'm sure a lot of you can relate. Like, as for myself, I'm still choosing whether gusto ko mag-graduate study or mag-med or baka, in some weird
gap
reason.
Gap year muna or rest,
Oo, gap year or mag-law or something, di ba? So there's a lot of choices to be made. And yeah, so for you as an alumni, Sergey and Kuya Vashwin, what do you think? What advice can you give to some of our students listening right now who are still figuring things out? Or for those who are nagugulahan kung saan ba sila dapat pumunta or ano yung gusto nila i-take after ng college?
I guess for me, parang don't be afraid to try things out. Parang I feel like a lot of the time when you enroll in a course or when you start something, parang you feel like you're stuck to that thing. But if you realize that it's not for you, then it's not late. There's no time limit that was set upon you that you need to follow. Really, parang take time to reflect and see what you want to be doing with your life. I have so many friends in med school that parang they worked first, or they were doing something else. They were already in masters, then they left and they joined med. And a lot of the time, those are the people that are doing really well. Kasi sometimes they're so much more assured of their decision to go to med because they know they've tried the other stuff and it wasn't good. That's why they're here. So take the time to figure out what you want to do. There's no rush.
Yeah, I agree with Vash as well. So, in connection with what he said, don't fall into peer pressure. Definitely, if you're taking a pre-med course, majority of your batchmates will go to medicine. That's a fact. Ganun talaga eh. Nag-bio ka, definitely magme-med ang karamihan dyan. Pero don't be scared to try the paths na wala masyadong nagka-take. Hindi masyadong popular. If I can remember in my batch, 5 lang kami nag-take ng postgrad. Hindi pa kami nag-usap pa. Nagulat na lang kami, dito ka din. So, hindi pa kami magkakaklase. Batchmates kami, magkakilala. Pero, ayun, the 5 of us pursued masters in biology. So, back then, it wasn't popular. Taking masters in biology, it wasn't, right now, medyo nag-gain siya ng traction because of social media, because of, siguro may factor in yung a lot of younger instructors in the college, yun may influence din kami kahit pa paano. Pero again, it's not limited to medicine, it's not limited to masters in biology or psychology. Ang daming options, to be honest. Pwede kayong mag-law, to be honest. Pwedeng mag-law. May ibang I think I can remember some of my batchmates naging na pumasok sa corporate, naging mga businessman and businesswoman. So again, wag kayong malimit sa certain choices, and then try to find something na you would enjoy. Na everything's hard, yung sabi ko nga kanina, walang madali eh. Pero if you find something that you enjoy, it would feel like play rather than work. Kasi na-enjoy mo yung ginagawa mo eh. Hindi siya taxing. Although, yun nga, I can't promise na laging masaya. Definitely may hardships yan. Pero, again, if you find something that you really enjoy doing or it's worth your time, everything will be fine. Okay?
That's very reassuring, no, for our listeners and viewers. So, just a recap siguro ng nasabi. Nasabi ni Kuya Vash is don't rush stuff. Siguro like parang ano lang yan, parang relationship lang yan. Hindi mo siya dapat ni-rush na to go into that relationship. So I guess that's that could be related to choosing your path. Kasi once you choose your path, ayan, it's either paninindigan mo or you won't find satisfaction on it, and then you'll have to start a new journey again. So, take your time to find what you really want. Where kahit mahirap, ina-enjoy mo pa rin, masaya ka pa rin dun sa ginagawa mo, kasi that's really important. You don't want to live life naman na siguro may pera ka pero you're not happy working where you're working in the future. And as yung sinabi ni Sir Gen na dapat you don't limit yourself. Don't think na yung best friend ko kasi pupunta sa med, so dapat doon rin ako. Or for siguro psych student na maging psychologist or psychotherapist yung friend ko, so I should go that path. So we should not, I guess, for our listeners and viewers, let's not limit ourselves to sa anong path na matitake natin sa future. Yeah. Ikaw ba din, ano ba yung path na nakikita mo ngayon for yourself?
For myself, actually, it's going to medicine, Pero for me, the key takeaway from what Kuya Bash and Sir Ge mentioned talaga is it's okay to take your time. It's okay na right now you're still figuring out, you're still thinking about it. Sabi nga ni Kuya Bash, yung time nasa atin. Yung oras na sa atin yan para kung kailan tayo handa. Kasi it's really true na mahirap pumasok sa isang bagay na you're not ready. And eventually magiging mahirap for all of us, hindi tayo magiging masaya. Mahalaga rin yung sinabi ni Sir Gay na don't fall to peer pressure. Not because yung certain number of students or your friends are going that way or going this way, kailangan I will also take this route. Doon papasok yung ating pagiging iba-iba, pero at the same time we still get the chance to really do something na magiging masaya tayo, at the same time magiging fulfilled. Mahalaga yung fulfillment eh. Kaya we really need to think it through. So kung iniisip pa natin, kung right now, baka we have listeners and viewers na biglang naisip ulit, wala nang gagawin ko after 4 years, so for some, after in a few months, sa mga kabatch namin ni Kate, it's okay na to think it over again. It's okay na wala pa sa ngayon. It will come again. It will come din naman. You just need to take the time and right now really think it through, and it's okay. So that truly helped me actually to have more clarity on what to do next and where to go next. So lastly, Sir Gay and Kuya Bash, as a professor and as a medical student respectively, who are still both affiliated in the academy, what is your parting message to the students of the College of Science, to our fellow Tomasian scientists who are not able to experience some of the most significant college activities due to the pandemic, but they still hope to maximize their stay here in the college? So Kuya Bash?
I think it's really different. Like even org work, it's changed so much. Like it's very different. Like working with people in general. Like, okay, forget about org work. Even I'm sure you're given group activities, video editing everywhere. It's
Posters.
Hard. Yeah, posters. It's hard to even coordinate with your classmates. Parang, how many Facebook group chats do you have with the same group of people that are just moving a little bit alphabetically? Or it's really hard. But it does come with its upsides. It does come with its opportunities that the face-to-face classes didn't have. Like, I'm not saying it's better, because honestly I don't think it is. But if you are in the situation, you might as well make the most of it. Parang, I think it's now during the pandemic now, because of online classes and because of everything that's happening. Parang, I know so many people opening up online shops, like figuring out how they can, parang testing out that field for themselves, even if they're still in school. Or I know a lot of people that have got into investing and learning more about their financial literacy. It's so much easier to attend webinars now. You don't have to go anywhere. You can get additional information outside of the classroom just by clicking a Zoom link. It does come with its upsides that you should try to make use of. But at the same time, make sure to have time for yourself. Like, don't parang reflect and think about how much you have then to offer outside of how much you want to give for yourself and how much you need to give for school and your family. Parang sometimes it's okay to just be surviving and just be taking it one day at a time, or one topic at a time, or one class at a time. Just keep going smaller and smaller, the more overwhelming it seems to be. Take the opportunities when you can, but don't be afraid to take time for yourself. That's what you say.
Okay, I agree. Definitely, you take time. It's really different. I have to agree with. I know everyone would agree na iba talaga yung online setup eh. It's not the same nung face to face. Maraming changes. Pero definitely, what I want to say to our listeners, or the students, or to the faculty who are listening, to everyone who's listening. Since alam niyo naman, 'di ba, nagka-COVID ako. So, marami ko realizations eh. Number one is tomorrow is never promised. So, right now it's frustrating. We're stuck at home. We're stuck with our computers, with Zoom. marami tayong gustong gawin, pero let's just focus on what we have right now and not as much as what we're missing. Diba? There are things that are out of our control. So let's focus on the things that we can control, the things that are in front of us right now. Let's make the most out of it. Sabi nga ni Vash, maraming students na nag-try ng different stuff. Again, do it. If you're curious about online business or stocks or whatnot, do it. Huwag nyo nang antayin yung bukas. Kung may naisip kayong gawin nyo. Kung napapagod kayo, rest. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you think you need your time alone, okay lang din yun. Again, try not to focus on the things na wala sa harap mo. Okay? Just focus on the things that you have right now. Eventually, we're hoping that things will be better. Let's continue to believe in science. That's very important to tell people na science and faith yun nga ang way natin palabas ng pandemic na to. Okay? That's it for me.
That's really nice. It's very I'll go back to what Kuya Vash said earlier about just surviving the day, kasi we don't know what our listeners or viewers are doing right now, or ano yung nagiging situation nila right now. They could be feeling sick, they could be having difficulties in managing their time or managing all their tasks and everything. So I guess just surviving the day will always be significant. It's not, you don't have to do something every day. Siguro just if you really need a break, or you really need to step back from a certain stuff, or your ACADS, your org, or whatever, it's important to take rest rin, kasi di rin tayo makakapag gawa if tayo mismo walang-wala na. So we can't offer anything that we don't have. So that's very important for our listeners and viewers to know na it's important to take rest. And also with the opportunities na na-mention both ni Serge and ni Kuya Vash, na whatever opportunities come our way, I guess we should take time to to see if we would want to grab it, especially ngayon na online setting. There's a lot of siguro ito mga podcasts, mga webinars na pinapost ng both UST Science Facebook page and also the council page. So parang in those simple ways, baka if we grab the opportunity to watch one of those webinars, we would learn something. Or kapag nagpo-post yung council, plug ko lang yung mga activities, baka you guys could join. You guys could join us and baka learn a thing or two, or just have fun in the activities that na we have planned out for the student body. Ayun.
Ay, ang dami natin natutunan for this conversation, the Patnubay at Gabay episode 3. Indeed, it's life outside the College of Science. Medyo outside na, medyo nandito pa rin tayo, because the main goal naman of our podcast is, or this episode of Patnubay at Gabay, is to really let our listeners appreciate kung ano yung nangyayari ngayon at kung ano yung possibilities after the College of Science. At sa ngayon, from what we heard from the lot of things that currently happening around us, hindi masama na we are taking time. Hindi masama na sa ngayon, baka hindi pa tayo sigurado. At the same time, sabi nga ni Kate, hindi masama ang magpahinga. At syempre, habang ginagawa natin yun, ang patuloy na mangarap at patuloy na abutin yung kung ano man yung ating mga pangarap sa buhay. Alam mo, Kate, hindi lang today naging productive ang discussion natin, So, nung mga nakarang araw din. So, Kate?
Yes, so actually ang dami na natin napag-usapan during the week, na iba't ibang episodes and stuff. So I hope our listeners and viewers would take the time to listen to it. And I guess that concludes our discussion for today. That ends our final Patnubay at Gabay episode. So grabe, sobrang dami talaga natin natutunan today.
We hope that everyone, all of our listeners or people who are viewing us from right now, Tomasian scientist man or hindi, or pangarap maging isang Tomasinong siyentipiko. Diba ngayon nakikita na natin kung ano yung pwede natin gawin at kung ano yung lawak ng possibilities here in the College of Science in being a Tomasian scientist. So we encourage everyone to check out the Patnubay and Gabay episode 1 on how to 20-something on college and adult life, and episode 2 on Swiss ins and outs. Here on all the streaming platforms we have in the College of Science Student Council and also through the social media pages of our council.
Yes, for sure ma-enjoy nyo yung mga iba't ibang episode na yan. But of course, we would like to thank our very special guests for today's episode, Sir Ge and Kuya Vashwin once again, and most especially to our listeners and viewers for this episode. So thank you for joining us this week on Patnubay at Gabay, episode 3, Life Outside the College of Science. Again, I am Kate Nesas reminding you to prioritize yourself.
And I am Dean reminding you that you are always worth it. Always stay safe, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you.